live in some of the places. According to Threadcast. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're live. We are live in most of the places. Space is live. YouTube is live. Welcome, everybody. Let's see here. Mitch, can I get a quick audio check on you?
Indeed. Check, check.
Cool. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. We just finished. I'm just looking for the YouTube link. While I get all the links shared, I think everything else is good. You want to give us a quick rundown of what's been going on in the markets? I forget where Bitcoin was at last AMA. I think it was a little bit lower than it is right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think we're up a little since then.
Well,
What's been your general take on the markets and Bitcoin
where are we
as we've
at?
kind of been in this post-election
Yeah,
skyrocketing essentially?
week was right after the huge green candle that took us to about 90K. I think it was short. I think we were like 89 or something last week. And now we're just been consolidating. I was wondering if we were going to see a some kind of pullback, um, maybe just some profit taking or whatever after going essentially vertical from like 75 to almost 90. But doesn't seem to be the case. Seems to just be a consolidation. Literally for the past week, we've gone sideways-ish to up. So, I mean, we're in the 90s now. And so, short-term moving averages are catching up. Um, I was hoping I could snag some in the mid 80s, but there was no pullback to be had. I mean, right now as we speak, we're just shy of 93. So, I'm at the viewpoint where I don't see why we're not going to 100 sometime in the very near future. And then maybe that'll be a short-term top. I don't know. But I can tell you this, if and when there's a big pullback, I will probably use that as an opportunity to add a little more to the bags. Um, but yeah, I mean, right now, Bitcoin's literally pushing the all-time high. What was that? 93, well, like basically 93.5 on Wednesday of last week. And we're, creeping up on that again. So yeah. And then maybe the alts will finally run. I don't know. Maybe when Bitcoin hits 100K, we'll get the rotations into alts because sure as shit, those aren't doing anything. Ethereum has basically been sideways um, since last week, and I don't even know. It might even be lower. Look at the chart. It is actually lower than it was last Tuesday.
Talking about the ETH BTC.
No, I'm just talking about ETH in general against US dollar. Oh
Ah,
no, against E up against BTC, it's definitely down.
yeah, it's at pretty much a low um,
Yeah,
against Bitcoin.
I flipped a little bit into a little bit of Bitcoin into ETH. And yeah, it was higher than it is now. Yeah, you're right. It is pretty much at a well, I had a target too. I was looking at I could see this getting down to like zero point 0.3. There's like a lot of support there. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if it got that low. But yeah, it just keeps on trending down. Bitcoin's going up, ETH is going sideways. So at some point there'll be a rotation into the alts.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole altcoin market, right? Is Bitcoin's been performing and altcoins have not. That's pretty much not just ETH, but
Yeah,
everything.
Bitcoin dominance is, up over a little over 60%. And that's just been trending. I mean, cleanly trending higher over the last basically since the beginning of 2023 is really like it was down at around 40, and it's just been tr literally in a clean trend higher ever since. So we'll see. Who knows where that'll top out? But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely been an indicator for the different altcoin markets.
indeed. So yeah, I know you've gotten more, last month you've gotten aggressive in terms of going heavier on alts. I'm probably going to slowly inch into that rotation as well, but I think I'm going to actually wait until I see a trend change. Um, and yeah, that means I won't get the bottom of it, but I could still um, be early enough. So it's kind of like no different with like stocks with like sector rotation, my stock buddy that, trades for a living has his community. I mean, they pay attention to the sectors big time and watch, quote unquote, the smart money rotate in and out of sectors and then generally lean on stocks that are in the sectors where the money's clearly getting rotated into. So I'm gonna kind of just take that approach as well, kind of wait for some evidence of that rotation happening. So
Yeah, I'm just looking for really any indicators, that can give some insight into how the market's doing in general. It's definitely interesting time with dominance this high and just altcoins not performing yet, but this is pretty typical, I feel like, with just the way this crypto market tends to move. So we'll see what happens, but I'm generally pretty bullish. And then obviously you had the huge news of Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy buying up like $4 billion worth of Bitcoin over
yeah,
the last week and a half, which is
ton of
insane.
Bitcoin. Yeah, ton of Bitcoin.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think the case study of MicroStrategy is extremely interesting. I've seen a couple different people talking about MicroStrategy in general on INLEO. And I think I put out a funny thread. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where I said when Michael Saylor for Leo. And it's just essentially what he's done is create a levered long on Bitcoin, and he just keeps buying more Bitcoin and continuing to, gain access to cheap capital and then repurchase more Bitcoin. And I don't know. I think it's possible you could do the same with Leo. Obviously, you need to have a long-term belief that it's going to go up as the ecosystem evolves and grows. So, I think it'd be really interesting if someone came out onto the scene and started just buying up Leo like crazy, and then somehow creating a business model around it. So I got some messages and replies to that thread. Simple Game was one of them. And I think it's possible. It just again takes a belief that Leo's going to continue to build and we're not going anywhere, and the project is going to continue to gain users and the technology is going to continue to improve and just in general become a better business. Leo at the end of the day is a tech stack, an ecosystem, and a business kind of all rolled into one. So if you believe that those things are going to grow, then I think that, something like that might not be a bad idea. Creating something like a MicroStrategy slash Michael Saylor approach to Leo, I think it'd be kind of interesting. And obviously, with the bull market approaching for altcoins, we hope that would have a pretty interesting impact. But we'll see what happens. I saw a Simple Game reply. I saw a few other people reply, and then got some DMs about that thread too. So maybe someday soon we'll see a Michael Saylor of Leo. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Um, Self-Help for Trolls said Saylor's trying to 51% attack Bitcoin. There can only be 70 Michael Saylors before there is no more Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to 51% attack Bitcoin. But I definitely I don't know. I don't know. I definitely wonder like how much more Bitcoin is the market going to allow him to buy? I mean, I'm obviously a very free market capitalist type. So it you know, it's interesting to me that like if he just keeps buying Bitcoin in perpetuity, it's just gonna the price is gonna get more and more expensive for him to continue to buy. So at some point it's gonna taper off. You've already kind of seen that. Like his average buy originally was like under 20K, then it was under 30K, and then it was under 50K, and now I think I don't know what his average buy is. I think probably still around 50K, but his
Wow.
most recent buy was 88,000. I think that $4 billion worth he bought at $88,000. So he's getting a third less Bitcoin now than he was when he started buying, or maybe even a fourth less.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, capital wise, the number of Bitcoins you're able to buy, you know, with those same dollars is just continually shrinking. So, and at the end of the day, like it's his raises, like it's not like his raises are going to get exponentially bigger. So let's just say, randomly he raises, let's say $100 million or whatever it is every time he's, gonna go on a Bitcoin buying spree. It's not like he's gonna like be like, oh yeah, now I'm doing 500 million because I need that like capital still somewhat finite in terms of fiat. So, but yeah, he went all in on Bitcoin and just kept leveraging and it's worked. And I'm a little bit jealous because if I took that same approach, I'd be sitting in a very different place.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully most of us have been in this market and have exposure of some kind.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so
You know, I got a random message from a witness in terms of, always just like update in terms of casting votes and whatnot. And it was actually someone that I thought I actually, a witness I had thought I voted a long time ago. They've been around forever. So I went and did that. And then obviously, it gets me scrolling through the witnesses and, you know, the Leo witness is, I think, just outside the top 20, which, top 20 is kind of where it becomes a worthwhile venture. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then also sort of surprising. But then when I think about it, it's really not though, because, you know, if there's people listening right now that, haven't voted the Leo witness, well, go out and do it if you support in Leo. But on top of that, you know, there's that dynamic of there's plenty of lions that, hold a chunk of Leo tokens, but don't have much Hive because they came here for Leo or they started with Leo as opposed to like the us like old veterans of the Hive blockchain that first were growing on Hive and then got actively involved in Leo. So you know I don't know, that dynamic just kind of popped in my head, um, where it kind of does make sense, I guess, that the witness isn't in the top 20. But anyway,
well, yeah,
goes around.
I think I think it is crazy that we're not in the top 20. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't even think it's as much of what you just described as it is, I mean, obviously that's a factor too, but I think it's an even bigger factor is just that the way that governance is set up on Hive is that the incumbents are favored. So if you're already in the top 20, it's very hard to not be in the top 20 anymore. So
To
I
an
do
extent.
think, yeah, I mean, it really is like the top 20 barely moves, and there are several in the top 20, and obviously I don't want to get too into the politics of everything, but there are several of the witnesses in the top 20 who aren't even active on Hive anymore. And they're in the top 20 because they've been there forever. And
Well,
essentially
and
the rotation or the turnover rate of witnesses is just so low and very hard to do. So I don't
yeah.
expect like I mean literally half those witnesses could disappear tomorrow and I don't expect the witnesses to change very much.
I mean, I will say, and again, I don't look very often, but I feel like there is more, there's been more movement in the last couple years than in prior years. And, and that's just a PSA to check on your witness votes every once in a while. Because I'm not going to lie, like the only reason I checked on mine the last two times is because I essentially received messages from somebody, and one of them was that like, hey, you're voting for a lot of dead witnesses. So I went in there and obviously cleaned that up. And some, yeah, and there was, at least one that was in the top 20. So I took that vote away and then placed it to someone active. So yeah, just a good idea to check on your witness votes every at least, I'd say at least twice a year, um, if not quarterly. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
agree.
so um, I saw a Simple Game asked about Leo Dex, and I think that's a Maya issue, but I guess just an update on where that's at if we have anything.
Yeah, I've been messaging them about that, just trying to keep up and get updates on it. So has Arbitrum on Maya has been halted for trading. So I know that they're working on a new update. I think it's V113 or something. And that will be, include some fixes and some improvements overall. So they mentioned that Arbitrum trades were being a lot slower than they should be. So they essentially just halted Arbitrum trading until they could get that fix rolled out. Um, they've told me that it's going to be this week. So, obviously it could take longer, and I'm very aware of how those things work. So I hope to see them actually push it live this week. If they don't, then I think probably by next week. Um, so the only thing that kind of sucks for us right now, I mean, there's a couple of things that suck because Arbitrup's halted. Obviously, the big one being that you can't trade Leo on Maya right now. Obviously, we have all the other places you can trade Leo, so it doesn't like halt anything for us, in terms of being able to trade and whatnot, in general. But we've got these Dash integrations, and we've got them in testing right now, and we're actually pretty much ready. So I did want to get into that, and we'll come back to the witness thing because I pulled up a few comments that people had in the threadcast. But I wanted to get into the updates, because with this Arbitrum halt on Maya, we obviously can't have our Dash cash outs rolled out, for the Dash integration. So we've got all that stuff ready, and we're testing it. Obviously, we can't test it right now until Maya's back online for Arbitrum. So when that is back online, we'll be back to testing that Leodex V2 rail, which basically just automates the entire Hive aggregation process. Until that happens, though, we obviously are just kind of waiting for Maya. But that being said, my rollout plan now is, we're going to roll out the Keystore integration. So I've kind of talked about this a little bit on the last chain chatter last week. But the Dash integration actually ended up having us take a very interesting route, in terms of the update. So originally we were gonna make it so that you could create a Hive Lite account using INLEO and a Dash wallet. So the same way that X and the Google Lite accounts work on INLEO right now, but you'd use a Dash wallet. We ended up going a different route because there were some things that we needed from Dash that weren't in place. So we ended up going a route that leads to more potential in the future, and that excites me. So instead of Dash wallet being used for the Lite accounts, it's a Keystore wallet. So with the Keystore wallet, now we have the potential to not just onboard all the Dash users, but onboard, general crypto users. Key stores are a very common thing in crypto. I would say many, like, crypto heads know how to use them. And especially in the cross-chain DEX space, there are a ton of people who know how to use key stores and who actually do use them pretty frequently. So I actually got really excited when the team and I kind of realized that instead of just doing Dash because it was going to be so complicated without the infrastructure in place, we were able to do Keystore instead. So now we can onboard literally any crypto wallet that is viable with Keystore, which is a lot of them. I mean, it's like Bitcoin, ETH, Dash, Maya, Rune, Thorchain, and a bunch of others that are all integrated into Keystore. So now the rails that we've built for Dash can instantly be cloned and reproduced for any of those cryptos I just mentioned. So the sign up with Dash and earn in Dash feature can now be sign up with Bitcoin, earn in Bitcoin, sign up with USDC on Arbitrum, earn in USDC. Sign up with Ethereum, earn in Ethereum. So and then obviously we have close ties with Maya, and then we have close ties with Thorchain. So I'm gonna definitely, I think my current rollout strategy is obviously focus on the Dash integration, make that extremely successful. We've got ad campaigns and other things we're working on with the Dash team. So we're going to focus very intensely on making Dash very successful. And then we're going to use that as a template, and we're going to go to the Maya team and say, all right, let's do join and earn in Cacao, which is their token, for using INLEO. And we'll use the same Dash Rails, but just clone it for Cacao. And obviously with Keystore, yeah, like Tass just said, rinse and repeat. So with Keystore, we're able to literally just, I mean, it's going to be like an hour of work to make this possible. So we're able to just clone it and then reproduce it, rinse and repeat with with Cacao. And then after that, my plan is to go to the Thorchain team and say, okay, look, we did this with Dash, we did this with Cacao. It was extremely successful. Now we want to do it with Thorchain, where you can join, you can sign up with a Thorchain wallet and join and earn in Rune automatically in your Rune wallet. So that will be, kind of the next step. So we'll go Dash. I mean, and this is just my plan. Obviously things can change depending on our interactions with the Maya and Thorchain teams. But my plan is Dash, really focus on Dash, get all the users onboarded, then go on to Maya and then Thorchain after. So Keystore is extremely interesting. It's so easy. I mean, like I've been testing it. A couple people on the ops team have been testing it, like Idiosyncratic and Sunseeker. You literally can sign up and start earning and start using the platform using a Keystore. I actually, and I was talking to the devs about this, two really interesting things about Keystore. One, it's the most secure wallet on Hive, in my opinion. I actually don't think there's a more secure wallet on Hive. And two, it's so easy to use. It's so fast. So it is essentially, if you've used Leodex, and a lot of us here have obviously played with Leodex since it launched, and you used Keystore at all, it's literally as easy as that, maybe even easier, just because there's no funds required. Like you don't have to move any funds around. You literally just sign up, log in like less than 20 seconds using Keystore. Couple of other things we added, and I talked about, I actually shared some screenshots during the last Lions Den that Taskmaster hosted. And the reason I shared those screenshots is because I'm excited about what we've built. The onboarding flow from Keystore, we've added some things. So after you sign up with a Keystore wallet, now it moves you to a screen where you edit your profile. So now you instantly add a profile picture and add like a description and a display name. So instead of seeing all these eggs when people join, you see all the, blank profiles. I think a lot more people are going to have a profile right when they join, just because it's so easy. Like you sign up with Keystore, and the next screen you see is click here to set a profile image, and then type a quick description of yourself here. And then you hit the next button, and this also gets equally exciting. You hit the next button, and then it asks you to pick your communities. So it uses the communities on Hive, which are obviously on INLEO as well. And we're going to have a Dash community set up, and that will be the first option. And then you'll see Maya and Thorchain and the other communities get added as we roll all of this out. So you'll then pick your community, and then you hit next, and then it takes you to the home page, and it will automatically change the feed based on your community selection. So we modeled this after X and other social media platforms, where if you're familiar, you join the platform, and one of the first things it does is ask you to choose your interests. So it'll say like, are you interested in technology and business, finance, whatever? And then you'll choose your interests, and then it will tailor the feed based on those interests. So this is the first step in that direction for INLEO, which is when you sign up, you are immediately asked to, set a profile, and then you're immediately asked, to choose a community or multiple communities to join. And based on those community selections, we'll then know your general interests, and that will tailor the feed that you see on INLEO. So I find that to be, really important and valuable to the user experience, especially as a new user. I think one of the things that all of us can agree on is, we are all familiar with like the latest feed and how it works. And like, a lot of us like to see the feed in chronological order because we're used to that on Hive. But at the end of the day, the average user from other social media platforms, they want like a for you feed or a trending feed. Um, they want to see content based on their interests and what is popular. They don't want to see content based on the chronological order of it. That is a Hive thing. I really firmly believe that. So I think the majority of people want to have a tailored feed right off the bat. They want to immediately, like, they don't want to read through 10 threads to see one thread they're interested in. They want to just see a bunch of threads that they're interested in instantly. So we need to provide that experience to them. And this Keystore sign up flow is a step in that direction. Sunseeker just shared an example. She has been testing the Keystore integration, and she made an account called Down the Road. And she said this was created with Keystore. It was so fast and easy. Yeah, it's literally, I think, the fastest, easiest, and most secure sign up method ever built for Hive. Ahmad Manga said, don't ask the new user to choose from Hive communities, make them choose known interests and subscribe them to communities that talk about these interests. Yeah, I think we may head in that direction. Obviously, right now, we just used what is already in place. Um, I think what we may end up doing is creating essentially a list of interests. So like, business, Dash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, skateboarding, like things like that. And then we'll basically create like profiles for each of those interests. Not like user profiles, but like a profile in our back end in the cache for Leo. We'll essentially build like a profile for that interest and then have all the communities bundled into that profile. And then in addition to that, we would have like the hashtags, and then we may even bundle like certain users. So I kind of have this idea where it has you pick an interest. So like let's just make up an interest. Let's say you're interested in finance and technology. Let's say you choose finance and technology, two different interests, and those are the ones you pick when you sign up. In those two profiled interests, we could have bundled in um, the communities. So like Leo Finance community would obviously fit that bill. And then let's just say there's a technology community that fits that bill as well. So it signs you up to those two communities right when you click that interest at the sign up on onboarding flow. And then it also has a list of users who talk about, so like, let's say long-term Leo users who talk about those topics are also bundled into that. So let's say like Taskmaster and Scaredy Cat Guide are two accounts that are bundled into talking about, finance and investing in general in business. So it would have you immediately follow those communities and then also follow those users. And then let's just say the finance and technology hashtags are also bundled in there. So it would have you essentially favorite those hashtags. So basically just taking the different ways that you can find that content and immediately making it available to that user. And doing it automatically just because they clicked those buttons that's what they're interested in. So I think something like that is where we're headed. Right now, we're just using the communities as the framework because it's easy and it's in place already. And you know, like I said, this part of the integration, I don't know if I gave the timeline yet, but this part of the integration we're planning to release on Thursday. So that's in literally 2 days. So all of this stuff that I just explained, the key store, the sign up flow that I just explained, minus the extra stuff about the following and everything, that's all going to get released on Thursday. So in 2 days. And then obviously we're waiting for Arbitrum to come back online to finish out the Dash integration in terms of payments. So essentially we're going to roll it out in two phases now. The Dash integration for signups and logging in and earning is all going to go live on Thursday. And then the claiming rewards and being able to pay for stuff using Dash like premium, etc. That's all going to go live probably about a week from Thursday. It's just dependent on when Arbitrum comes back online on Maya, because on our end, things are pretty much done. We just have to finish testing, and we can't test and roll it out until Arbitrum's back online. So that's the current rollout plan. So, I'm going to start talking to the Dash team now that, say that everyone's ready and you can sign up using Keystore and we can start doing our campaigns with them to start onboarding users. So I'll be talking with the Dash team pretty closely as we lead into that, and then expect to see a lot of new users from it. Um, and obviously now you can also go out there and push Keystore to people and say that this is a new way that they can sign up. And one of the reasons that I think this rollout strategy is fine is I think the Maya team will deliver and get Arbitrum back online by the latest next week. Um, and if you think about it, when a new user signs up and they start earning, there's a 7-day payout window for all their earnings. So even if on Thursday we sign up, just say 100 Dash users, it's going to take at least a week for them to even earn anything because it's a 7-day payout window. And then they also have to earn a minimum threshold. So we'll talk more about this minimum threshold thing. But if you're familiar with Leo Dex, I see a couple of you here that are. There is a minimum trading threshold on Leodex. It's actually set by Maya, and it's to avoid gas and dust and things like that. So from our testing, the minimum threshold for a Dash trade is $15. So a Dash user will actually have to earn $15 before they can even cash out into Dash. Obviously, all the earnings get stacked into their Leo wallet, but then when they want to use the instant cash out, since it uses Leodex, it's going to require that they have $15 in earnings waiting, and that's HBD plus Leo for the $15. So that's how all of that's working. Um, and yeah, I'm excited to have it rolled out on Thursday. So finally going to have Keystore ready and all the users will be able to get onboarded. Self-help patrol said, how often does Arbitrum have issues like this? This is a one-time thing. And it's not Arbitrum, it's Maya. So it's it was something that they said there was an issue from the beginning that they were fixing. But then it became so bad it was kind of clogging up the trading on Maya in general and making all trades slower. So they just decided to halt it till the update was done. But I know that the main focus of their team right now is getting the update rolled out. So um, I also asked them a similar question, and they told me that this wasn't going to happen again. Obviously, you can't predict everything, but once this is fixed, it's fixed. It's not like a node issue. It's like an actual protocol issue where it's it requires actual fixing. Mon Manga said, if Dash is $15, what would be the minimum for BTC and ETH? The way to see that would be to just quote out a trade on Leo Dex for BTC and ETH, and then you can see what their minimums are. I don't actually know them off the top of my head. I think it's obviously different for every crypto, and then there's some like Rune and Maya, Cacao, you can do for just a few dollars. So it's the minimum is going to be dependent on the currency essentially. So for Dash, it's $15. For Rune, it might be like $3 or something. I don't remember what the minimum was. Um, so that's how all of that works. Dash integration is a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, I think, talking to the Dash team and not just onboarding their actual like existing community, but then we're also going to be doing like Brave ads and other ad campaigns with them, and using the Dash branding because obviously everybody in crypto knows Dash. I mean, you can ask anybody in crypto and they all at least have heard of Dash. So by using the tagline "Join with Dash, earn in Dash," a tagline similar to that. I think it's going to be really easy to onboard people in a way that we weren't able to before because INLEO just doesn't have the brand recognition that something like Dash has. Self-help patrol said, so will people who sign up with Keystore be able to cash out into any coin they want? So to start, it's going to only be Dash, and then we'll roll them out one by one. So when we roll one out, I don't want it to be like, oh, we just built this thing. Like now, hopefully, we get users. I am going to hold back on it until the team behind the project or the main DAO or whatever whatever the main hub is for that project, I'm going to hold back on allowing it until that team or community or whatever DAO agrees to partner with us to bring their user base to INLEO. Because otherwise, we're just rolling out all these integrations, for nothing essentially, and they could easily just get lost in the weeds. So I want to have a kind of like what we're doing, literally what we're doing with Dash. And like Tass said, just rinse and repeat. So, take the model that's working with Dash and just rinse and repeat and do it with other uh, crypto projects. But the potential for a Keystore user is that it can be any crypto that is tradable on LeoDex, which is Maya. So any crypto that is listed on Maya/LeoDex is where it is potentially able to get added for the Keystore integration. So obviously for something like a Bitcoin or ETH, um, I want to have community support for those, but there's no like really central person that we can go to and say, all right, hey, I don't have Satoshi's number. If I had Satoshi's number, then we would partner with Bitcoin, and I think we'd have a million monthly active users. But I don't have that number, so we will uh, we will just work with what we can find for those bigger projects. But for projects like Maya, we obviously know the team. For projects like Thorchain, I had JP Thor on the podcast once for Chain Chatter, so we know some people there, and we'll kind of just move from there. So that's why I said my rollout plan is Dash because we're already talking to their team, and then Maya because we, obviously have a relationship with their team, and then Thorchain, and then from there we'll just see where things take us. The fact that we'll have those three big projects under our belt, so Dash, Maya, and Thorchain as being integrated, partner ecosystems, I think will then give us the leverage and the brand recognition to go out to these other projects and start getting them onboarded too. Yeah, thanks, Self-Help Patrols. Yeah, I think, it's just you don't want to just I've seen this and we've actually experienced this before, just rolling things out and rolling integrations out and not having any partners within those ecosystems, and then you just get completely lost in the weeds and nobody really pays attention to you. So we need the leadership in the different projects to kind of take us by the hand and show us to their entire community. Um, Web3 Lab said, where can we see a sneak peek? I post some threads publicly, sneak peeks of this stuff as it gets close. If you want like the very early sneak peeks and like even in the design stage of new features, I would subscribe to my creator subscription. Um, Shameless plug, kind of like what Simple Game just did too about his creator sub. So shameless plug about mine is I do give sneak peeks of the features before they're even developed. So if you want the very early look, you can subscribe to me. If you want monthly reviews of Hive governance, you can subscribe to Simple Game. He does monthly reviews in his creator sub.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, that is cool. That's a cool idea. My manga said, can you change the current integration your Keystore is linked to? I mean, can you decide to go to Rune after it's rolled out, but you signed up for Dash first? Yeah, so in the settings page, you'll be able to just choose whatever currency you want to get paid in. So when you link a Keystore, this is what's, again, why I'm so happy with how we ended up doing all of this. When you link a Keystore, you're immediately linking a Bitcoin, ETH, Arbitrum, Maya, Rune, Dash wallet, all in one. You're instantly linking it to your Hive account when you sign up. So all of those currencies and projects and addresses are immediately available when you sign up with Keystore. Um, so yeah, you can change what your integration is essentially. Um, yeah, I'm on Mongo. We also did add Dash to the live prices. We do listen to you guys. We listen to the feedback. Another thing we added is a Dash theme. So I've talked about that. Like when you do the Keystore login, you'll then see in your themes page that you can choose the Dash theme, which changes the colors of the UI, and then it also changes the payout value to be in Dash. And so again, use all of this as, we're very focused on the Dash team and community, and we need to onboard all of them. And then use this as a rinse and repeat template. So imagine that one day, there'll be a theme for Maya, and then it'll be like a green theme. You'll choose it, and then it'll also show you your earnings in Cacao. And then when you go to the dashboard, you can cash out in Cacao. So, the same framework kind of getting applied across the board. Yeah, and with onboarding the Maya team, or the Maya team and community, and the Thorchain team and community, like I said, a lot of them are very familiar with Keystores, pretty much all of them. They can actually, what we've done with this integration, they can actually use their same Keystore to create a Hive account using INLEO. So they don't actually need to make a new Keystore either. So if you already have an existing key store from anywhere, you can use that to do a Hive Lite account. Or you can just create a fresh key store if you want. So for example, let's say that you use let's just say that you use Asgard X, which is a big exchange for both Thorchain and Maya. And most of the people that use a key store. Any Asgard X user, and maybe that will be a good partner project for us. Any Asgard X user can immediately come to INLEO and use their existing key store to sign up and log in. They don't even need to make anything then. They just use their same key store, and it uses the same key store password as well. Self-help trolls. I think a lot of projects will be enthusiastic once they see things working with Dash. It'll be easier to get in the door with all kinds of projects. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Dash, like I said, they've got the brand recognition, and then they've got a big community. They've got, obviously a big market cap. Um, so yeah, I think I definitely agree that having we basically need that lead domino. So having them onboarded and successfully using the platform is really critical. That's why it's important, that we work closely with them, get as many of their users onboarded, and help them earn. That's the other thing. Like um, I just saw D-Kid say, let's get those early Dash users to $15 fast. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like we definitely need to focus on rewarding them and engaging with them and getting them to that $15 mark quickly, because I think it's going to go viral. Like once you have say, at launch we get 100 Dash users to sign up and start getting active. Once you have like 5 to 10 of those users earn the $15 and click the cash out button, and then see that the Dash is automatically sent to their Dash wallet as Dash, I think that's like the magic. That's where the switch gets flipped. And then all of those, those 5 to 10 Dash users immediately become our marketing team to the rest of the Dash community. And they start posting on X, and they're like, look, I just was active on INLEO, and I just got paid in Dash. And they're active in the Dash, Discord servers and all their other chat rooms, sharing their screenshots and showing that they're earning Dash by using INLEO. And they can show that the INLEO UI is actually showing them how much Dash they earn, on individual threads and in the dashboard. So it's like I said, like I think this is kind of its own. We always talk about flywheels, but kind of its own little flywheel where you get, the initial user base to get in, and then they get their first payout, and then they become your marketing force for the rest of the user base. So so yeah, we're going to be definitely heavily focused on rewarding these users and promoting their content on INLEO, and just really getting it, really solidifying our place within their community. Another thing, Sunseeker kind of brought this up in our ops meeting, but with all these Keystore users, the plan is to create a list for them. So if they sign up using Keystore and they choose Dash as their interest, we'll automatically create we'll have one list created, but we'll automatically add them to the user list for Dash users. So any premium user on INLEO right now can subscribe to that list and other lists, but specifically this Dash list. And then you'll be able to see all the threads automatically sorted by those new Dash users. So we'll be very focused on upvoting them and rewarding them. Task said, fill the database with Dash information. That way, when Leo chat goes live, it'll be well trained on Dash content. Yeah, so for the AI, definitely important to train it on Dash stuff. And then also for these users, I mean, they want to see people talking about Dash. It's just a known thing with human beings. Like you want to see and hear people talking about the things you're interested in. So if we want to get Dash people interested and have them stick around and retained, we all should talk about Dash, to some degree and interact with them about Dash and um, from a technical perspective, make it really easy to find content about Dash. So you guys should start talking about Dash more and post using the hashtag Dash tag and just start filling up the database for AI, but also for the front end, obviously for the humans as well. Self-help patrols, are you guys working on Leo ads behind the scenes at all? Are you 100% focused on these integrations? Yeah, we've actually got a lot of the work done for Leo ads. The key now is scale. Like, we can release the ad system whenever, but we need more users and we need more attention. So right now, any development we do is focused intensely on onboarding and retaining users, I would say. So Leo ads is like the second part to that strategy, which is, we've onboarded and retained a bunch of users. Now let's release ads and monetize that user base. But there's no point in releasing it until we really, build up a good base um, in terms of users. But yeah, I still do plan to roll that out soon. But the focus right now is just completely on onboarding and getting more users. Uh, Ahmad Manga, can you use a 12-word secret phrase to generate your Keystore? I have the 12-word phrase for mine, but not the Keystore file anymore. Yeah, you should be able to go to certain apps and do that. I think Asgard X might have that. I could be wrong. There are certain apps where you can use if you have the backup, because that's the backup phrase. So you just need to go somewhere where you can use the backup phrase to get a key store. So you might need to do a little research on how to do that, but I know there are places where you can do that. So just find the right and obviously a trustworthy, interface, and then go and use those words as your backup. I like how everything is from Essel. I like how everything is connected. Makes it easy for semi-digital folks like me to navigate. Yeah, I mean, my goal with INLEO is to make it like a very simple experience, from a UX perspective. So, things should be very easy to use. They should be as automated as possible. They should just be like seamless, like using any social media platform in Web 2. I think that's been the big mistake with Web 3 is just it's been too hard to do certain things. So yeah, my goal has always been to make things easier and more seamless, and I hope that the designs kind of show that. Getting pretty caught up with the threadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, Essel said take your time with ads. Yeah, I mean it's and obviously right now we're just really focused on users. So everything we've been doing the past couple months and the next couple months is going to be very user acquisition centric. Luke Heel said, is Keystore an app? No, Keystore is a type of crypto wallet. Um, Simple game, yeah. Until Three Speak, I was having people post shorts with feedback, and that was actually super nice. It made it really easy to find bugs and fix them. Obviously, Three Speak isn't back online yet, so in the meantime, you can just DM me the videos. I saw the video you DM me, and we've been working on it. So yeah, just keep those videos coming in my DMs, and then I'll take care of them. But yeah, hopefully one day, Three Speak will be back, and then we can get back to uploading shorts and other videos. I've been missing that for sure. I really enjoyed shorts while we had them. Yeah, thanks, Simple Game. The video, I can't stress enough how much video feedback helps. It's so helpful. It's crazy how helpful it is. Because a lot of times with bugs, it's just like it's very difficult for us to reproduce them, and it's very time consuming if we don't have enough information. So, if you ever see me get a little annoyed or frustrated, it's because people will report bugs and just basically say this is not working, and then that makes it extremely hard for me to because then I have to go through and I have to say, okay, why is this not working, and how do I get to what they got to? And that's not a very easy thing to do, especially with certain bugs. Sometimes it's easy to do, sometimes not. Um, so when you record a video and share it with me, I can literally see what you're doing, and then I can do it myself, and then we can fix the bug within like an hour. So definitely helpful when you guys do that. Andresino wants us to talk about the latest price action of Leo. Um, Mitch, you want to give us your technical analysis on Leo?
I
It's
don't
up
know that
like
I've
2x. I think it's up like 2x in the last like 2 months.
I don't know that I've technically analyzed Leo. I could go find a Leo chart, but yeah, obviously,
Leo chart.
like you said, it's doubled recently, and yeah, I don't know. I don't uh, I don't really pay attention much when it's single digits. We'll see when we start
Yeah.
creeping up towards 10 cents again, then I'll because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just organically stacking, right? So. Um, I'm not looking to sell any Leo until we get much higher in price, and that would almost be like in a income sort of way. Um, so yeah, just letting it stack and occasionally check on the price. And yeah, it's nice to see that we're back up over 4 cents after dipping down into the twos. So we shall see if and when the alt run happens, um, how well the Leo token gets impacted.
Yeah. I think it's interesting and definitely like I said, it's you know, buying Leo is really just, you signaling that you think the ecosystem is going to grow over time. And obviously the technical development doesn't stop and the, growth of users doesn't stop. Last month we had an all-time high. This month we'll have a new all-time high, which I think will be a lot higher than than the all-time high in October. So the chart of users is really kind of um, going to start to take shape. Obviously this month and next month, I think it will be very dramatic. We've already kind of seen a big bump from some of the things we've been doing, but really with the Dash integration and then going after Maya, I think I my current plan is obviously focus on the Dash integration and then get it really successful, work with the team closely, and then immediately do the Maya integration after, and then do the Thorchain integration right after that, and kind of dual those up. So my goal is, obviously Thursday for the Maya, or sorry, for Thursday for the Dash integration. Next Thursday, hopefully Maya will have Arbitrum back online. So then all the financial stuff will be added. Um, and then uh, and then do Maya and Thorchain before the end of the year. So that means that we'll have three major cryptocurrencies and their communities onboarded to INLEO using Keystore by the end of the year. Um, by the way, lesser talked about when it comes to this integration is the fact that since we're using Keystore and any crypto can be earned in, that also means that any crypto can be used for payments as well. So we're adding Dash, so you'll be able to subscribe to Premium using Dash. So you'll pay $10 worth of Dash, and then you'll get Premium for a month, or you'll be able to do $100 for the yearly option. We're also adding Dash for creator subscriptions. So you'll be able to pay $5 worth of Dash and then subscribe to any creator on INLEO. Um, that is also going to apply to any crypto now that is available through Keystore that we add to these integrations. So keep that in mind as well, that now you'll be able to buy premium and buy creator subs using Bitcoin, ETH, Rune, Maya, Cacao. I always say Maya or Cacao. They're interchangeable, obviously. Um, Dash, obviously, uh, you know, USDC, all these different coins. So right now you can only buy this stuff with HBD. With all these integrations and Keystore, you'll be able to buy using any of these coins. So really important change coming to the project, which is that right now we require HBD, which is obviously a pretty niche coin. But now you can pay for it using anything. So it's like if we had a storefront selling something and we require that you pay in one type of currency, but now we're going to accept any currency. So I think it'll open us up to a lot more incoming earnings. So hopefully the 1,000 premium mark is not far away in our future when we onboard all these new users and then add new payment options as well. Keep in mind too, like I think there's going to be some really interesting, and this is something that obviously we will see when it goes live. But I think there's going to be some really interesting, economies of scale when it comes to the fact that people are earning. So using Dash again as the example, but interchange Dash with any of these cryptos. So using Dash as the example, we onboard 100 users, 100 Dash users. They earn 50, let's just say they all earn roughly $15 a month in Dash on average. They're going to earn that as Dash in their Dash wallet. And then they're going to obviously, if they're earning that much, they're going to be pretty active on INLEO. So then they can go and they can say, okay, well, I want to earn even more. And I want to get access to more exclusive features. So I'm going to go premium on INLEO. Well, now I've just earned $15 worth of Dash in my wallet, and then I can subscribe to premium using $10 worth of Dash. So they just got paid in Dash, and now they're going to be able to buy something using that Dash on INLEO. So keep in mind that $15 is now built-in trading volume across Leo Dex because that's how it's converted. And then if they end up buying premium, it uses Leo Dex on the back end for their Dash to premium conversion. So now it's going to be, $15 got converted across Leo Dex, and now $10 got converted back over through Leo Dex to pay for premium. That's $25 in trading volume for Leo Dex, and you can see how that can kind of scale up if we get enough users. So again, just more and more built-in revenue models for Leo. Self-help patrols just bought another 3,800 Leo. Leave some for the rest of us.
Nice. Stack it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ahmad Monger, we do need to wait for that. Like I said, we're going to roll this out on Thursday for the signups using Keystore, but the cash outs aren't going to be available till Maya's Arbitrum fix goes live, which I think is going to be either this week or next week. Again, that doesn't matter though, because let's say a user signs up on Thursday from Dash and they start earning, they're first of all not going to earn anything for 7 days. And then how long is it also going to take them to get to $15? Could be, 14 days or more. So yeah, it's, we're going to roll out the signups, and then the rewards part will follow very quickly behind as soon as Maya is back.
I'll openly admit I got completely distracted when you mentioned Asgard decks earlier because I'm like, oh yeah, that's the wallet I used to hold my rune. I haven't opened that in a while. Let me check. And my wallet
Well, you don't
was
use
like,
that. You use a Keystore wallet.
well,
You just
yeah, I used the
use
Keystore.
Asgard
Well, I
X as the
use
interface.
as the interface, I use Asgard decks. And then I had my
Yeah.
Keystore linked to it. So like where I just have to now type in a password into the Asgard deck UI instead of having to like just,
Yeah.
like because you can just select your Keystore as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just like realized I was like four versions behind
That's
because I
so
hadn't
funny.
updated it in so long. So I just updated it to see if I could fix an issue, and apparently that did not change
Well, you could
said
also use
issue.
that Keystore to log into Leodex and see your rune on Leodex. Just putting that out there. But if we
Oh, that's
also,
interesting, really? Because
yeah, you didn't know that?
I have a key. Yeah, I mean, I created a separate key store initially for using Leo decks. I didn't think about the fact that yeah, I could just use
Keystores are
any.
interchangeable. You can use them on
Yeah,
any UI. Um,
it's awesome.
yeah, and I think this would actually be a good example. Let's
Wait a minute,
pretend
hold
that
on.
yeah, go
So
ahead.
if one day I decide, all right, well, one day, when the day comes that Rune basically hits $12, $13, which is probably my sell price, for much of my rune. I could literally just go to Leo Dex and grab my key store and sell my rune there.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
sweet.
by doing that, instead of paying Asgard X an affiliate fee, you're paying Leo an affiliate fee.
Exactly.
And
That's yeah.
100% of our affiliate fees by Leo.
This is why I ask because I'm like, when the time comes that I'm going, because like for me, Rune is just a straight investment, right? So I have certain price targets, and when we get there, I'm going to take that money to do other things with. So yeah, 100%. If I can sell it on Leo Dex, why would I not? That's awesome.
Right. Yep. And then any affiliate fee you pay will just buy up Leo and then
I
permapool
mean,
it.
it's a win-win. I'm
Win-win.
selling, and also adding value to one of my other existing investments. That is
Exactly.
Leo.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. No brainer.
Glad I mentioned
And
it.
then yeah, and then let's keep using you as an example, and let's say that you're a user of Asgard X. Let's just pretend like you haven't used INLEO before. So you're just a user of Asgard X, you're a part of the Thor chain community, you hold Rune in a Keystore wallet. You can now, with the Keystore integration, you can come to INLEO and you can use that same Keystore to log into INLEO.
Oh, wow.
And you will need nothing else. No Hive keys, nothing. Like you'll go to the UI, you will say log in with key or sign up and log in with Keystore, and then you will input you'll the same way that you know how you click sign in with Keystore you on any UI like Asgard X or Leodex, you select the file from your local PC. So you'll go to Inleo, you'll select that Keystore from your PC on inleo.io, and then you'll enter the same so that password you use when you go to Asgard X you'll enter that same password because that just decrypts your key store. And then INLEO will create you a Hive account and it ties it to the seed phrase inside your key store. So it creates you a new Hive account and then it'll automatically log you in then to that Hive account and it's tied to that key store. So now anytime you come back to INLEO, you just use your key store to log in and it's tying it together, that Hive account and your key store.
That's awesome.
And let's say that we integrate ThorChain the same way we're doing with Dash right now. Um, you can come use your key store that you use on Asgard X. You log into Inleo, and now when you earn, I don't know what the threshold for Rune is. Let's just say $5. Every time you earn $5 on Inleo, you hit claim, and then it will claim it as $5 worth of Rune in your ThorChain wallet in that same key store. So let's just say you've got 500 Rune right now in your key store. You come to Inleo, you log in using the key store, you earn $5 a month on Inleo. Now your 500 Rune is becoming 500 Rune plus whatever one more Rune every month at the current price that you're earning from INLEO from using it. And it's all just stacking up in your same key store.
That's good stuff.
Mon Manga said, if Maya was fixed today, will you release all features on Thursday? Yeah. Yeah, we would. But we like I said, and it's not even anything that anybody's going to notice. So like the claim buttons are all still going to be there. You just won't be able to claim because you also won't have $15 to claim, but also the claim button will be disabled because Maya's not online right now. But like I said, nobody would even notice for at least 7 days because it's going to take at least 7 days for the first Dash person to earn $15 anyways. So I think by the time that's why we're going to just release everything on Thursday. And by the time someone actually has enough to claim, then the Rails for Maya will be back online and then everything's fine. So that's why I chose Thursday.
Good old Thursday. That's funny. Simple
But
Game
yeah,
said Leo make 3x before Rune. Just saying, Cat. Well, I hope you're right, Mr. Simple Game, because I have literally 100x times more Leo than I do Rune. So let's be right on that. Happy Cat. Um, Speaking of
yeah.
Leo decks and flipping out like Rune, so if you're selling, let's just say you're just selling Rune to like a stable coin, for instance. Um, is the gas structure still the same? Do you still need ARB ETH to for gas?
This is a really good question. This is a really good question. So we've built Leodex V2 is what I'm calling it. And that is for the Hive aggregation technology. So the acronym is HAT. So as you guys may know, if you've used it to swap Hive through Leodex, we built an aggregation system and it requires that you step by step click confirm on each step. And part of the problem with that is if you delay it too long or something goes wrong. And by the way, what Maya's fixing right now with Arbitrum is one of the biggest reasons why Hive swaps have failed in the past. So what they're fixing right now will actually fix our Hive swaps, even if we didn't do anything, but we're doing something anyways. V2 will actually eliminate the need for Arbitrum gas from the Hive aggregation swaps. So now you won't even need gas at all for any of them.
That's freaking awesome. But okay, so when you
Yeah.
say, all right, so we don't need gas, is that because now why? Like, is it being, how's that, how is that transaction being done then? Like, where's the gas coming from?
So there's going to be two ways to do Hive swaps. One is the current way, which is I guess you could consider it full self-custody, where your wallet has control of the funds at every single step. The second way is going to be a smart contract. So that is the new automated swap, where you just click swap and then it's sent to a smart contract and then it does everything for you. So that's why there's no gas, but that also means that you don't have to click confirm at every step because it's just doing everything.
Gotcha.
And part of the reason we built that is to fix the Hive aggregation swaps and make it a lot easier to use for the average person because so many people have had issues with it. And the second reason is because with this Dash integration, we actually need everything to be automated for the cash outs and for the payments. So,
It's ironically me bringing up my one wallet thing has launched a plethora of questions as we've delved into Leo Dex now. So
well,
let's
because you use Keystore. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I mean,
let's we can hit some of these kind of as a last segment before we wrap things up. But yeah, so I mean, I think this is probably related to the Keystore like login. It says, can I enter with only one password? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're using your Keystore for both your Leo Dex slash Leo login, then the answer is yes. And at the end of the day, like Keystore is a file. It's literally like just a, is it a TXT file? I forget what kind of file it is, but it's like a,
it can either be TXT or JSON. Most of them,
yeah,
the general practice is JSON.
yeah, it's a very basic file. Like if you were to open it, it looks like a, notepad file. Um, what else did I see? I saw, what was it? Bill Prag said, if you claim your Hive keys, do you disconnect from your Keystore account?
So here's another interesting, that's a good question too. Another interesting thing with the way we did Keystore, it's even better than the X and Google Lite accounts. So your Hive keys will actually be derived right when you create the account, and they're derived inside of your Keystore using the same seed phrase. So that's going to maybe be complicated for a lot of people, but essentially your Hive keys. So for your master password, we're using your Keystore wallet to derive that master password, which means all your Hive keys are automatically already like Mitch, for example, right now, technically already, like if let's say he doesn't have a Hive account, his key store already has the master password that will be used to derive that Hive account and its keys. So technically, Mitch already has his Hive keys, even though he doesn't even have a Hive account yet. And the reason he has that is because we're going to use the same key store file to generate those keys for Hive.
Don't entertain me with dreams of if I never had a Hive account, how life would be so different had I fell in love with a different blockchain. Soft dig at Hive. Simul Game said, so how does Leo Dex decide the price of Leo? Is it based on Hive engine? Basically, is Leo price tied to the Hive price?
No, Leo's not price tied to the Hive price. So Leo is on four major liquidity pools. Leo ETH is the biggest one. That's wrapped Leo ETH on Ethereum. The second biggest one is Leo Cacao on Maya. The third biggest one is Leo Hive on Hive Engine. The fourth is the four. I guess we technically have five then. The fourth is Leo Matic on Polygon, and the fifth is Leo BNB on BSC. So there's five liquidity pools. So five different assets that Leo is tied to. Um, and it's so essentially Leo is, at the end of the day, because arbitrage can, re basically reorient all the prices to the median. So Leo is essentially priced against all those assets in a basket, but it's weighted based on how big those pools are. So Leo is technically mostly tied to Ethereum and Ethereum's price. And then secondary would be Cacao, and then third, like I said, Hive, and then fourth, would be Matic, and then fifth would be BNB. So it's kind of a basket of all of those weighted against how big those pools are. So the bigger one of the pools is, the more impact it has on the price of Leo. So I've seen a lot of people say that Leo's price is tied to Hive, but it actually isn't. It's not really tied to Hive much at all. So like for example, Leo's up like 2x, like I said recently. Hive went up and spiked up temporarily and then came back down. Leo just kept going up. It never came down. So it just went up along with the rest of the altcoin market. And it never corrected. So yeah, Leo is not tied to Hive. Technically not completely tied to Hive. It's tied to that basket I just mentioned, in parts based on how big the liquidity pool is for each. So you could actually make if you, I mean, you could do this in a spreadsheet or somewhere else, but you could actually make a weighted model for Leo and the price increase based on the size of all the different liquidity pools.
I'm just trying to catch up with all the questions. Ha, I love it. Anderson Ho said, "Man, I just want to jump in, but I have a training session." I feel like this AMA just turned into a training session.
Self-help for Trolls said, so when these coins pop off, we win on all fronts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Leo is definitely a fixture in the altcoin market, and I've talked about that in AMAs actually. If you go back like a couple of years ago, the plan was always to create liquidity pools with Leo paired against these other assets, because then what we're doing is essentially creating, essentially tying Leo to the rest of the altcoin market. So. Yeah, I think it's extremely valuable to do that. So when altcoins run, I mean, I don't think Leo will be any exception. I think Leo will run more than other altcoins because it's such a small market cap. We have actual revenue models. And then I also think that when the token starts going up in price, more users are going to flow in. That's just like a natural occurrence. We've seen it on Hive time and time again. So you get more users, you get more revenue. More revenue buys back more of the token. The token continues to go up in price, and it creates like a flywheel. Token price go up, people join, create more revenue. Token price goes up even more and more and more and more and more. As Mitch would say, Momo.
Said that in a long time.
You said that last AMA.
I did? I don't remember
Yeah.
saying that. That's funny. I
I
guess
think
I don't
you
know.
said something. We were talking about the markets, and you were talking about Bitcoin, and you were saying, "Don't get caught up in the Momo," or something
Oh,
like that along
nice.
those
I
lines.
mean, you got to be careful. That Momo will get you. That's how you buy tops. But
Yeah,
I
that's how
guess,
you buy. That's how you don't take profits. That's how you buy the top. Got to keep a clear head. The way I keep a clear head is I like to write a lot. Like I guess a lot of people say journaling these days. I don't love. I feel it's kind of a loaded word, but just waking up every day and writing down your thoughts about different things, whether it's related to it or not, just kind of helps you think through things and step back a little bit.
yeah, well, it gives you the opportunity to kind of just like keep a, finger on the pulse of just your overall, whether it's your portfolio, your vibe on the market, whatever it is, like whatever fill in your topic. And yeah, it's a good practice. Actually, it's something that I should probably get back to because I definitely probably have not been very good about staying on top of my overall portfolio over the years. And therefore things get messy and, not as efficient as they could have been. And, you know, that affects performance. So it's kind of like
Absolutely.
the, method of keeping your house tidy. You can either, do small cleanups constantly or regularly, I should say, or do nothing and then have to do ginormous spring cleanings, 3 or 4 times a year. It's like
Yeah.
what maintains a better household? Probably the former, because things don't get you know they don't degrade from lack of maintenance. So,
Yep.
anywho, we've been going for well over an hour. Um, I am gonna need to bounce. I got 8,000 messages to respond to, which knowing you, Cal, you probably do as well. Um,
Yep. Back
we'll
to
cut
the
up for the
grind
most.
after this.
It's funny. People that only listen on audio, they're like, Eric isn't speaking today. That's because he's not here.
Yeah. Yeah, we are live on YouTube as well. So if you want the video, there's a problem right now with threads. I'm gonna actually jump in and look at that after we get off of this. But I wasn't able to edit the YouTube video link into the threadcast. So usually I would edit that in there, but it wasn't working. So that's what I'll be doing when we jump off of this. Go look at that. I'll go look at other feedback. PSA, my last final words will be please go post hashtag feedback. Especially before we get all these Dash users, I want to have bugs squashed and fix things. Um, so yeah, definitely post some threads with hashtag feedback and get those things up so that we can fix and move forward and
I
be ready for all the Dash people.
Yeah, right. That's gonna be awesome. Like, oh, just bringing in a whole new like group of people. It's like welcome to the party. Simple game. I don't know about that, but I appreciate the compliment. I'm gonna disagree with you actually. I'm gonna go Eric. Um, but cool. Good stuff. Good
Sweet.
stuff. I
Yep, great
mean,
call. Covered a lot of ground.
yeah, we did. I think we ended up stumbling into some good info that, wasn't really expected, especially in regards to Leo deck. So I'm glad I was kind of messing around on other stuff and ended up stumbling us into some good Leo decks talk. So definitely learned some stuff myself.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, the Keystore stuff. Look out for Thursday launch party of some kind. For the Dash integrations, I'll be talking to the Dash team pretty heavily. So keep your eyes open for all that. And yeah, chain chatter tomorrow. I'm not sure who the guest is yet, but we'll get a X post up soon and share all the links everywhere and do a raid. So get ready for that. And other than that, keep the feedback coming and we'll see you guys for noon Eastern tomorrow chain chatter.
Nice.
Sweet. Thanks,
Have a good
Mitch.
one.